On November 12, 2021, 19-year-old Ashley Wadsworth embarked on a journey from Canada to the United Kingdom to meet her boyfriend, whom she had met online. The girl was overjoyed at the prospect of finally being able to see him after years of online communication. However, nobody could have anticipated that this joyful meeting would turn into a tragedy. Ashley Wadsworth was born on July 25, 2002, in Vernon, a city in British Columbia, Canada. She was the daughter of Ken Wadsworth and Christy Gendron and had an older sister named Haley. The Wadsworth family was large and close-knit, comprising over 50 members, including half-brothers and sisters, uncles, aunts, and various degrees of relatives. They all lived in the same community. Ashley was cheerful, sociable, and energetic, which made her popular, and she had many friends. She enjoyed active hobbies such as swimming, horseback riding, and skiing. Ashley was also passionate about tennis and played the clarinet. Additionally, she was very active on social media, constantly sharing memes, jokes, and photos. It was on social media that Ashley met Jack Seppel. They met in 2015 when she was 12 and he was 15. It is known that Jack was born on January 9, 1999, and his mother Tracy Dalton was married to a man named Ricky. As for his father, who passed away in 2019, relations with him were reportedly strained. As for the rest of the family, I did not communicate with my brother Jordan, but I did communicate with my sister Nadia. Apart from his mother and sister, Jack did not have many close people with whom he communicated. I prefer to communicate only with men via the internet and video games. According to information provided by some of Jack's acquaintances, he often got into trouble at school. Although they did not remember him as a cheerful, charming, and boisterous child, they also spoke of his dark side. Of this manifested itself when he became overwhelmed and splashed out aggression on himself and those around him. It was Ashley's friend who communicated with Jack through social networks, who introduced these two young people. Like many other teenagers, it was natural for Ashley to come into contact with strangers through various platforms and make virtual friendships. It didn't matter whether they had common interests or if they were simply drawn to each other. Jack and Ashley quickly became virtual friends. At that time, she didn't have a smartphone, and she used the family computer to access the social network. Therefore, her friendship with the Englishman was never a secret to her relatives. According to Ashley's mother, during their long-distance friendship, Jack had several relationships with different girls, and Ashley also had her own typical teenage experiences. Despite periods when they would stop communicating, the connection between the two young individuals never completely faded away, and they continued to stay in touch over the course of many years. As Ashley and Jack grew older, their relationship changed. They began to communicate not only on social networks, but also via video communication. As a result, their relationship became more intimate and romantic. Jack soon became a familiar face to Ashley's family members. If they walked by while the guys were talking, they usually greeted him as if he were actually in their living room. Additionally, he repeatedly sent gifts to the girls, such as plush teddy bears and handbags. Ashley's family said she always compared every boy she met to Jack. Due to the 8-hour time difference between Vernon and Essex where Jack lived, young people woke up too early and went to bed too late to be able to talk. In 2018, when Ashley was 15, she began to show interest in meeting Jack in person. However, her family did not allow her to go alone to another continent. As a result of such arguments, Ashley blocked Jack on her social media. He would create a new account or send her messages through his sister or acquaintances. This was worrisome and intrusive for the girl's loved ones. But she insisted that he was a responsive and kind-hearted person. In October 2018, Jack got Ashley's name tattooed on his arm. At that time, she was 16 years old, and he was 19. The girl's parents thought such a display of love was excessive, and they warned her to be careful and not even think about doing the same. Rather, during one of the quarrels, Jack inflicted a live wound on his tattoo with the name Ashley. Afterwards, the guy started revealing himself as a jealous and cruel person. He would get angry if he thought Ashley was dating guys, even though he continued to date other girls. But he insisted that Ashley was his favorite and said he only wanted her. One day, Ashley got a call from a girl who was at Jack's house and said that he wouldn't let her leave. According to a friend present at this conversation, Ashley was not upset and even reacted as if she was used to such situations. She simply asked Jack to stop acting crazy. Ashley didn't tell her parents, but she did tell her friends, who insisted that she stop all contact with him. Despite numerous quarrels and the guy's problematic behavior, the couple always made peace. Ashley was only 18 years old and had known Jack since her early teens. However, she did not seem to realize the extent of his manipulation over her. At a young age, Ashley began working in fast food restaurants and department stores, which allowed her to save money for entertainment. The first thing she bought was a tablet to be able to use networks more privately. Then, the girl began to save money for the trip. During her senior year of high school, Ashley, who had always been a very spiritual and inquisitive person, after reading the Book of Mormon, she had a eureka moment and began following the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Ashley graduated from high school in 2020. She planned to study law at university in order to become a lawyer, but she did not immediately enroll there because due to the pandemic, classes caused by COVID were held in the form of a video conference. Because of this, Ashley decided to take a year off before continuing her studies. In the first half of 2021, she continued to work and save money, and in April of that year, she was baptized into Mormonism. It was then that Ashley, who had always been a brave and headstrong girl, decided to travel to the UK to meet Jack in person and spend his birthday with him. Her parents and friends were not enthusiastic about the idea, but nothing could stop her since she had her own money and was of age. On November 12, 2021, Ashley traveled from Canada to the UK on a 6-month tourist visa. The girl left her homeland for the first time and was very happy about this event. Ashley and Jack met in person for the first time on November 13, 2021. That same day, Ashley changed her profile photo to a photo of him. By that time, Jack was already 22 years old and looked much older than Ashley. He was covered in tattoos, which even covered his face, and the contrast with the young, cheerful 19-year-old girl was obvious. While in London, Ashley stayed at Jack's house. Since 2020, the young man has been living alone in an annex on a public housing estate in northwest Chelmsford. The area had a dubious reputation, but the couple explored the more genteel areas of Chelmsford's. Jack turned out to be the same person Ashley met on the internet. He was affectionate and caring, showered her with compliments, and never refused a romantic selfie. But he was also fickle and could be cruel. The young people were together every day. Ashley, arriving on a tourist visa, could not work, and Jack was unemployed. He received benefits and sometimes had the support of his mother, Tracy, who lived nearby. Ashley tried to constantly post photos and comments from the trip online. Most of the photos show the couple cuddling, clearly having a good time and enjoying romantic moments. Ashley was in regular video contact with her family, and everything seemed to be going well. They even adopted a kitten, whom they named Winston. However, over time, Jack began to withdraw into himself. He no longer wanted to go out and see the sights, preferring to stay at home. smoke illegal substances, and play video games. Being in a foreign country, Ashley could do little on her own. Even though she loved being outdoors, her options were limited by what Jack wanted to do. Before going to England, one of Ashley's church friends put her in touch with American missionaries who would be in Chelmsford at the same time as her. Ashley wanted to meet and make friends with these young people who shared her religion, but Jack did not allow her to attend church on Sunday. However, the girl kept in touch with them via text messages. So that Jack would not find out about this by checking her phone, she deleted the correspondence, and her new church friends almost immediately discovered that Jack was controlling her and possibly abusing her. While discussing her problems with them, she admitted that she knew she deserved better, but she just wanted Jack to be happy. The cruelty was not limited to controlling Ashley's interactions with other people. About 6 weeks after the girl's arrival, Jack texted his mother saying he had beaten Ashley. "Since I found out that she blocked 2 British numbers on her phone a few years ago. He decided that they belonged to other men, which caused an attack of jealousy." Although Ashley continued to show photos of the seemingly perfect trip on her public social networks, she created a secret profile where she began documenting her bruises. Ashley did not hide the abuse from her sister Haley, but threatened to cut off communication if she told her mother, because she didn't want her family to hate Jack. In late December 2021, Jack took an excessive amount of anti-anxiety medication. At the end of December, she called an ambulance, which urgently took the guy to the hospital, where he was treated for an overdose. After this, the girl was appointed Jack's caregiver and took responsibility for the safe administration of his medication. Although Ashley didn't tell her mother or friends about it, Haley accidentally gave away the secret. Obviously, the mother was worried and asked her daughter to return, but Ashley insisted that Jack get better first. At the beginning of January 2022, a new incident occurred. Jack broke a beer glass on Ashley's head. Sobbing, the girl contacted her sister via video call, while the guy forced her to clean up the broken pieces. In the background, the girl saw Jack walking, screaming, and gritting his teeth. Haley begged her sister to return home, but it was to no avail. On the 9th of the same month, Jack, as if nothing had happened, celebrated his 23rd birthday with Ashley's family. Rather, after this, Jack's mother and her husband organized a family trip to a small seaside town, as a change of scenery would help relieve the tension. Everything looked so perfect in the photographs that even Ashley's parents, unaware of the seriousness of what was happening, breathed a sigh of relief, seeing the peace and happiness of his daughter. However, the apparent calm soon disappeared. During an argument in late January, Jack hit Ashley again. He also threw a candle and ATV remote at her, at the moment when Ashley was talking via video call with Haley, who once again begged her sister to return home. Ashley initially agreed, but soon backed down. She believed that somewhere inside this cruel man was the same charming guy she had known for so many years. Ashley prayed that time of medicine or her love would heal him. Judging by his conversations with his mother, Jack seemed to understand what a cycle he drove Ashley into. He accused her of infidelity, beat her, and then apologized. Although Jack seemed to feel guilty for his actions, this was not enough to prevent the tragedy, which finally happened. On the morning of February 1, 2022, Jack became angry with Ashley again, accusing her of running around and meeting other people behind his back. He even demanded to show him her mobile phone and check all her social networks. Shortly before 8 a.m., Helen Bortonshaw, Jack's neighbor, heard Ashley's screams through the shared wall, and a few minutes later, a woman appeared at his door. When the door opened, Helen saw a barefoot, tear-stained Ashley, who had blood dripping from a paresis on her palm. The victim said Jack caught her looking at a photo of a naked woman and became enraged. He verbally abused her, then hit and broke her phone. He also threw her kitten at the wall. Despite fearing that Jack was trying to kill her, Ashley asked Helen not to call the police. She agreed, but asked Ashley to go with her to the doctor's appointment, instead of going back to her partner's apartment. Ashley refused, and Helen decided to go and talk to Jack. He apologized for the incident and remained calm, and Helene went to see her doctor. Around 9 o'clock in the morning, Lucy's neighbor brought Jack a package, which was mistakenly delivered to her address. He didn't want to open the door at all, but Lucy didn't mind it, because she knew that he was an unfriendly and paranoid person. Around this time, Ashley called her family from Jack's cell phone. It was midnight in Vernon. By this time, the girl's mother was already aware of what was happening to Jack, because Haley couldn't stand it anymore and confessed everything. Her parents immediately bought her a return ticket for February 3rd. When Ashley told Jack he was leaving in 2 days, he agreed to accompany her to take a COVID test necessary for the trip. He also said that he would take her to the airport. Ashley's mother told her daughter to go straight to the airport if her boyfriend attacked her again, and she warned Jack that she would call the police if he hurt her daughter again. Ashley's conversation with the family lasted about 3 hours. When they finally pulled the plug, it was 11 a.m. and 3 a.m. in Vernon. A few minutes later, Jack wrote a message to his mother in which he admitted that he had once again severely beaten Ashley, knocking her to the floor and possibly breaking her arm. Between 11:22 and 12:38, Ashley sent several messages to family and friends from Jack's cell phone. Since it was night there, no one answered. She also wrote to her church friends asking for help, citing an emergency situation. Unfortunately, these messages were received only a few hours later, when nothing could be done. Between 12:38 and 12:45, Jack attacked Ashley, squeezing her neck until she stopped breathing. Then he went to the kitchen, took an 11-centimeter knife, with which he struck about 100 times in the girl's chest and stomach. Having ended his girlfriend's life in such a brutal manner, Jack went about his daily routine. He later changed his profile photo to a picture of himself with Ashley, which he captioned, "Always mine." He then recorded a video addressed to Haley, in which he said that he loved Ashley. He was very sorry, but he could not let her go, and that his head was not working properly. The video, which was never sent, showed the girl's body next to him. While all this was happening in England, the Ashley family was sleeping in Vernon. After seeing the volume of messages Ashley was sending, they called James Ash, one of their Mormon friends in Chelmsford. Jamie and Tolly reported. Another church acquaintance went to Jack's apartment. They knocked on the door. They did not receive an answer. They called the police and left. At the same time, Ashley's best friend saw that the girl was active on her social networks. In desperation, she texted her. On the other end was Jack, posing as his dead girlfriend. He told his friend that she sent these messages because she needed help getting tested for COVID. But this is no longer necessary. Messages from Ashley's family and friends continued to arrive, but Jack ignored them. They were all desperate to hear from her. Finally, Jack called his sister Nadia. When the girl answered, he admitted that he killed Ashley and even showed his sister the body. It was around 4:13 p.m. when police officers responded to Jamie's call and entered the apartment. And despite the fact that it only took them 10 minutes to arrive at the scene, it was already too late. The police arrested Jack on the spot. He was covered in blood. The guy told the officer that he had an attack of psychosis and admitted to committing the crime. After this, he was sent to Chelmsford Prison. The trial was set for the 7th of September 2022 at Chelmsford Crown Court. Toxicology tests revealed that Jack only had traces of mild controlled substances and a small amount of anti-anxiety medication. In addition, according to the result of the psychiatric examination, the accused was in a position not to testify and to stand trial. The evidence against Jack was overwhelming and included video recordings of him confessing to the crime. The guy immediately pleaded guilty, and the judge told him that, taking into account his confession, only one sentence could be passed, namely life imprisonment. On the day of the hearing at Chelmsford Crown Court before Judge Edward Muir, prosecutor Simon Spence read out a summary of Jack's criminal record as a teenager. It was there that Ashley's parents first learned who their daughter's boyfriend really was. Jack has had problems with the law since 2014. He was arrested several times for stalking a girl, for kidnapping, for unlawful confinement, and for violent assault. He also had several restraining orders against his mother and his girlfriend. Ashley's parents were shocked to learn about the criminal past of the man who took their daughter's life. During the hearing, the prosecution and defense exchanged views on a letter that Jack sent to Ashley's family while in prison, in which he expressed remorse for his actions. After the hearing, Judge Muir allowed the letter to be published in the media, citing the principle of open justice. In a letter addressed to Ashley's entire family, but primarily to her sister's mother Haley, he stated that he was aware that no matter what he said or did, nothing can bring Ashley back to them and take away the pain they feel, regretting his actions. Jack told them that they knew about his mental health because he had spoken openly about it with Ashley. He added that his condition quickly deteriorated and that, while this was no excuse, obsessive thoughts had a great influence on his thinking and actions. Given the long history of violence provided to prosecutors and pleading guilty to the crime, Jack Seppel was sentenced to life imprisonment, with the possibility of probation until urgent release after 23 years. Friends, what do you think about this story? Write your opinion in the comments and also subscribe to my YouTube channel.